Hi guys, Dave here from MD Bushcraft, out in the northern forests again, snowshoeing out into the woods with Liam. We're going to just do a little bit of winter survival training. What we're going to do is be digging a snow grave. We'll show you how that's done and what you need to make it happen. Here's Liam out the front, going along a snowshoe trail that we made a couple of days back. Beautiful, beautiful place we're in. Absolutely gorgeous. Miles and miles of pine and birch, spruce. Lovely. So we'll get back to you very shortly when we've found somewhere where we're going to dig this shelter and decide what we're going to do and see what happens. See you later, guys. Okay guys, we've found the tree we're going to be using. A lovely big pine or spruce. This is it. Liam's just knocking the snow off it. And we decided not to go for the snow grave. We decided to try something else, which is actually digging out the base of the tree and getting in there and seeing if we can make a shelter underneath the tree. So we're just knocking the snow off the branches so it doesn't go down our necks, and then later on we'll see how we get on. Cheers. Hi guys, as you can see now we've started to dig out the hole. Snow is really thick. Look, we're still not to the bottom yet. That's probably about 4 foot high. The snow around us is about 4 foot high, so it's ideal for this kind of shelter that we're going to be doing. I'll just dig some more out and then we'll start to trim the branches around the bottom and we'll make the whole shelter work for us. So I'll catch you in a short while when we've dug it out a bit more. Okay, what's happening now, Liam's using his Hudson Bay knife to cut away all the inner branches of the tree, and he's stacking them in a neat pile outside. Later we're going to be using these to reinforce the outside of the shelter. So at the moment he's just making space for us, and then we'll crack on. You notice he's got his hood up. Reason for that being is every time he chops the tree it sends the vibrations up the trunk, and quite often, as you can see up there, there's some lovely big dollops of snow waiting to fall down on his head. So always put your hood up when you're doing stuff like this, unless you're really fond of getting a big block of ice down the back of your neck, in which case leave your hood open. Okay? Thanks. The good thing about teamwork is that everybody can get something done. Liam's digging out here, Matt's just getting his snowshoes on and his saw out, and he's starting to get wood ready for both sitting on and a reflector. And myself, I've been weaving in the branches around the back to make it a little bit more windproof for us. So we should be, within the hour, nice and cosy. I'm going to make a little fire in there, maybe have a cup of pine needle tea. So, all in all, it's looking good. Everybody's having fun. It's a beautiful day out in the forest. One of the best days we've had. It's just this minute stopped snowing. It's probably about -4, -5. Absolutely beautiful day for doing a bit of work. So, we'll crack on with the shelter and we'll show you how it's coming on in a little while. what Matt's doing now is selecting one tree that we're going to use for all of our requirements for the shelter. It's going to be heating, it's going to be warmth, it's going to be the seating, it's going to be the reflector, and the spruce boughs, the actual twigs, are going to be the floor to keep us nice and insulated. Matt's using a Laplander saw, the Barco one. Quite adequate for taking down this size of tree. You wouldn't want to use it on something perhaps that big. This is where your winter axe comes in. But for things kind of that size, and the size that Matt is doing, sort of like forearm thick, it's a good piece of kit. You just got to take your time and let the saw do the work. Graham's now cutting the base for the fire. Matt's over at the back there collecting some dead standing for us to have a little fire. And this is the shelter, nearly finished. See, we've got a little bench at the back. Spruce boughs are going in on the floor. Got a fire pit out front. It's important that you dig this down to the ground so that you don't get all the snow melting and putting your fire out. Pile of firewood there, and most important, the cooks has already the pine needle tea. You will have noticed by looking at the lads that they've all took a few layers off. It's important that just because you're in the Arctic and it's cold, when you're working you'll get wet through sweat if you don't peel some layers off. So we've all stuck them on a stick at the back of Riam and stripped down a wee bit. You notice now that because we've been working in the area, Riam's able to take his snowshoes off, whereas before it'd have been really struggling to get here just using his feet. Firebed's going in. And we'll take a look just around the back of the shelter. There we go. Very easy. Takes about an hour. Very rudimentary. Just snow banked up to give you protection. I don't know whether you can actually see inside, but it's quite deep down in there. So you could quite easily take that bench out and lie down, and it's quite adequate shelter to keep the worst of the Arctic weather off. So, get a fire going soon, have a nice brew, and have more fun in the snow. Well, we're back and the shelter's finished, or as much as we're going to do today because we're only having a play in the woods. So we'll pan you round and show you. Here we go. Monkeys! Over there. A little bench, fire's going, and what's most important is the snow is on, ready for some pine needle tea. So very shortly we'll grab some pine needle tea, and that's it for this instructional. So hope you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave your comments in the bottom. You can visit us on bushcraftuk.com or come and see us on Facebook, the Greater Manchester Bushcraft Group. This is Dave from the Northern Forests along with Riam and Matt. Thanks a lot guys, see you next time.